Hi there, everyone. It is currently the 22nd of August, 2014. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. A few hot spots out there in the tropics, but first, before I get into the tropical part of this update, I do want to talk about what has been going on across western Japan, because not only back on Wednesday did we see severe weather in this landslide that took place just over about 72 hours ago here into the early morning hours back on Wednesday. And it was not just one landslide, but numerous landslides. You can see the before and after pictures here on your screen. Also find this image at the website. At this time, 39 people have been confirmed dead. 52 are still missing. Actually, the missing number continues to rise, believe it or not, because we are seeing a lot of people who just weren't unaccounted for at first, and now a lot of fears that this number is still growing for the people that are actually in the mud where the slide came down. And it's just an absolutely tragic situation, but not just here into Hiroshima we're seeing this foul weather, but also during the early morning hours on Friday we had tornado advisories across much of Kyushu, and even in Fukuoka we had 99 millimeters reported in a 1 hour span. Some severe flooding there, and also one police officer did die because of rising floodwaters there. He got swept away in one of these rivers. That was even farther off here towards the west, as I mentioned, in Fukuoka, Hiroshima over here towards the east. Now, what's causing all this severe weather the last several days? Well, right now I'm showing you the streamline analysis, and we have our low pressure area off here towards the north. Remember, this was actually a tropical depression earlier this week down towards the south, and it tracked off towards the north, brought some rough weather towards the Korean Peninsula, and now it's moving over the Sea of Japan. Now, this is all riding along a stationary boundary, which has really been lingering all the way from southern China over through northern Japan all this week. Actually, this image, this is from Wednesday and Thursday, the heavy rainfall reports, over 50 millimeters, some areas up to 300 millimeters, especially down through southern China and into the Indochina Peninsula. And this whole boundary, you can see this image over here towards the right. This was taken by Wednesday night to Thursday morning. You can see how that basically stretches from west to east. Now it is starting to taper. You're going to be starting to see is this whole rainy season looking type boundary finally start to break up a little bit. But we're still going to be seeing more lows run along here due to upper level support. Right now we have our low just north of Japan, and another one even possibly developing in behind it. Now, as I mentioned before, these lows are moving north of Japan, but they're still drawing that moisture from the south, and that is pushing up here. It's hitting these mountains, and that's what's been causing these severe weather all this week. It's not a direct correlation with the center of a low pressure area. It's definitely nothing tropical, but it's this whole boundary which has been stretching here, pulling in that moisture from the south. And it does look like, as I mentioned, once again, by Sunday night into Monday, we're going to be seeing this low pressure area that's now just north of Japan. It's going to move off there and out towards the northeast, but then we're going to have a new low come in behind it, and you can see here by Sunday afternoon a little weak low coming off eastern China, and that starts to bring another round of wet weather out there for western Japan and South Korea, and unfortunately this could result in even more flooding. So this is all the stuff we're watching right now off here towards the north. This really looks like a rainy season type of boundary, doesn't it? You have one low after another. It's very out of season, but it's actually somewhat typical for an El Nino year. So this is what you're looking at. Now, let's pull back the big picture, though, and take a look at the tropics, because I know a lot of you are asking about what has been going on out here. And we do have the possibility of a new low developing in the Philippine Sea. That's the second half of this update. You can see right off the bat, current streamline via the GFS model back to earth.nullschool.net here, showing that counterclockwise circulation. And you would think, hey, we have this here. Isn't this a tropical depression, Robert? I mean, it's a low pressure area in the tropics, and even our friends at the Japan Meteorological Agency do have a low pressure area moving towards the west, 1010 millibars in this. But even though we have a circulation, let's go back to how about a visible satellite imagery, because what we can see here that we do have that circulation, but it's really disorganized. Some low level clouds out here towards the east. It's coming in from the north, but a lot of the convection is split off there towards the west. So I have no disagreement with calling this a low pressure area, but to call it a tropical depression, I think maybe pulling it a little far-fetched at this time. But a minor TD possible if JMA does upgrade it. At least at this time, Pagasa, just talking about this, a low pressure area just off the northeastern coastline. Really, at this time, my thoughts on it kind of the same way. Now, is this going to bring some rough weather? Yes. Actually, going through the weekend, we're going to see this low push off there towards the west, and it's definitely going to be enhanced by afternoon thunderstorms out here. But the good news is that the bulk of the monsoonal rains are shifted farther off towards the northwest, so this isn't going to have a lot of moisture flowing into it. So we are going to be seeing these afternoon thunderstorms flare up. Even some localized flooding is very well possible, but I don't expect a widespread damaging flooding rain type event. Still though, Manila, you could be seeing some localized urban flooding. So especially on Sunday, I think that's when the worst of this is going to be. Let's backtrack this. This is throughout the day Sunday, and also by Saturday afternoon into the evening hours. Just pretty foul weather weekend. All that said, there is kind of a catch-all here, because it could, if it does linger just towards the north of the Philippines long enough and into next week, let's say it doesn't move overland and it stays somewhat organized, eventually this could get its act together. And this is what I'm showing you right now, the GFS Ensemble Model Outlook. This shows you the air in the model, especially in the long range. Let's look ahead. Now, this is going into next week. This is about the 72-hour time frame. And the more green you see, and especially if it gets up into the red, that means the bigger air we are seeing here with the model. And possibility of change in the forecast, really. As we look ahead to the 96, 102 hour, a lot of that really starts to pump up just off the northeastern coast of the Philippines. And what that means is that the models are unsure of something developing here or not. At least at this time, though, out through the first 72 hours, stays out of the green, and pretty high confidence this is slowly going to drift off there towards the west. Although what I can say is we do have our high pressure ridge off here towards the north and into southern China, so if anything does come here, it's not going to jettison off towards Okinawa. It likely is going to linger here, at least for the time being, until something comes by and breaks this apart. But that whole boundary has been lingering just towards the north, and nothing deep enough has come through to knock these highs out. So at least at this time, that's what we're looking at. All right, guys, thanks again for watching here, and as always, stay safe out there. All right, bye.